What are macros, and is that something you should count? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to Think and Lose Weight, where we talk about and discuss how anyone can lose the weight they want, but only if they have discipline, create good habits, and make the right choices. Well, macros is short for macronutrients. Macronutrients are molecules that our bodies use to create energy for themselves. These are primarily fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Of course, these are found in all the foods we eat, but in varying amounts, and they are measured in grams. Now let's recap a little bit from a previous video in case you didn't watch it, or in case you don't know. 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories. 1 gram of protein contains 4 calories. And 1 gram of carbohydrate contains 4 calories. You with me so far? Cool, let's move on. So, counting calories versus counting macros, what should you do? If you eat less calories than you burn, you will likely lose weight. But counting calories can only tell you so much or take you so far. If you're not careful and you don't eat the right calories, you'll likely lose muscle too. And plus, your body does not process all calories the same way. To maintain, lose, or even gain weight, many people rely on counting macros to make sure they're eating correctly. In other words, they're eating the correct percentages of fat, protein, and carbohydrates. Calories in versus calories out does not necessarily work. For example, 100 calories of avocado, good fat, is a lot better for you than 100 calories of a donut. Carbs, aka sugar, aka poison. So on a ketogenic, low-carb, high-fat diet, it's very important to know how many carbs you're eating in comparison to fat and protein. Many people aim for less than 50 grams of carbs to maintain ketosis. Ketosis is when you deplete your body of carbohydrates, and then your body needs energy, so your fat cells will release ketones, and in turn, your body will use those ketones from your fat cells as a source of energy, thus allowing you to become a more efficient fat-burning machine. I will make a video on the ketogenic eating lifestyle in the near future, but that's basically it in a nutshell. When counting macros, you simply add up how many grams of fat, protein, and carbs you ate that day. Let's take an example. If you ate 10 crackers and wanted to see your macros for that meal, you would first determine how many servings you ate. If the serving size is 5 crackers and you ate 10, you would multiply every number on that label by 2. You would have eaten 8 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of protein in that snack. I would definitely not recommend you eat crackers. So there's that. In your log for your macros, you would then add all your grams of carbs, protein, and fat up to a total so far. By seeing your macros visually, you can easily tell when you are running a little high on carbs and know when to slow down and bring up your fat intake. Your optimal macronutrient intake depends on many different factors, such as your age, gender, weight, BMI, and activity level. To best determine what you should be eating, you would need to decide what food choice or eating lifestyle to follow. Every eating style is different. A ketogenic diet, for example, is very low on carbs and high on fat. You should be eating 70% of your macro intake from fat, 25% from proteins, and about 5% from carbs. However, how many grams is that? Well, it depends on the person. Once you get to a certain point and you have been doing this for a few weeks, you will easily figure it out. It can be a bit confusing at first, especially because you have to weigh your food and read labels in order to determine what you're eating. Now, in my opinion, you should not be eating anything that comes in a bag, can, or box. These are the foods that come with a label on them and tell you the ingredients, since you should only be eating whole, non-processed foods, and they usually don't have any labels on them, since they include one ingredient only. But you can still determine how many grams of fat, protein, and carbs it contains by going online and doing a search. But the easiest way to determine your macros and what percentages of protein, fat, and carbs you're eating is to download an app and enter the information there. There are some pretty cool apps that have every possible food known to mankind programmed in it and makes this process a lot easier. But as I said, once you have been doing this for a few weeks, you will not need the app anymore. That's the rundown on macros, guys. Again, very basic, but now you have a basic understanding of what they are and have an idea for when someone starts talking about it. Thank you so much for visiting the channel. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos. As always, I bring you the truth about losing fat without all the BS and without trying to sell you anything because I care about you. And I want the world to learn that they have the power to change their lives by changing their eating habits and thus losing weight, living a healthy life, and live to be 100 years old. So help me by sharing my videos and spreading the word. I will see you next week. Dale.